Today is July 3rd. The Yankees win a series against the Guardians, winning both games of a doubleheader and losing the final game. They also lost one game to the Astros before that. I think we're recapping everything. Happy 4th. Let's talk Yanks. Song.
Talking Yanks with John Boy and Jake.
Well, the song will be playing for those listening on the podcast app, I guess, but for those listening live on YouTube, or you're just tuning in later on YouTube, no song, as it's just a casual 4th of July weekend episode. I forgot to pack my microphone. That was a bummer. I went to set everything up, couldn't find it. I have like the Rodecaster to plug it in and the cord and every part besides the actual microphone. So my bad if my audio's not as great today. Young Jake, how are you?
No music because we are pissed, man. This team is a disaster. The Guardians, are you kidding me? No, just we didn't have the music. I'm good, man. Happy 3rd of July to you lads.
Not as great.
And yeah, basically, I don't know. We get the same Yankees loss that we've gotten for the last 3 months now. The Yankees are ready to win the game in the 9th, but they choose not to. And yeah, I mean, all of us half forgot about the Houston game, so we'll touch on that a little bit. But I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. We talked a few episodes back that, like, were we going to run into the same conversations? I made some jokes like the Yankees are just winning so much. Is it going to be boring? You know, we are actually in it. It's July now, and shortstop, corner outfield are the topics. Are the topics of discussion. And, there are some good stuff that we have to cover series to series. A sneaky big bounce back start for Nestor. The boys go off the first Guardians game. Matt Carpenter, who are you? So excited to get into it. How are you lads doing?
I'm good. I'm really good. Yesterday and then first half of the day, like, I'm watching the Yankees, tweeting about them every now and then, but I have detached as much as I possibly can. So that's fun, man. And we did a little parade today for the 4th. Never done that before. Been in this town for 4th of July so many years, and I was like, why have I never done the boardwalk parade? And they're like, well, because for kids that's at 9 a.m. And I'm like, yeah, makes sense. So I did that. Watched the Yankees with my dad. So
what was the highlight of the parade?
I mean, it's an honest highlight. The video I posted on Instagram of my nephew Ike holding my son James is one of the cuter videos I've taken of the two. He's like his protector.
Absolutely delightful. I'm not talking heartstrings at all. I'm talking like weird 4th of July, like a guy covered in beads or something.
Oh yeah. No. A girl got lost and we helped her find her dad. And
okay.
And I guess he cried when he saw her, so he was scared. So that's cool.
Okay, still kind of heartstrings. Kind of heart was going funky lady with beads, but I like where we landed.
No, the problem with the parade is that there was no spectators. There was only walkers. So it was kind of just like everyone was just walking. I said they should limit it. It was a march.
It was a march.
It was a march of children. So that's that.
Nice, dog.
BBD, how's your 4th going?
BBD?
Good weekend so far. Was at the Nats game yesterday. I was doing the watch on the phone game. Got Miggy Rowe a hit. All good here.
Nice. Okay,
let's met a talking Yanks fan today.
You did? I met. Yeah. Well, I met an
shout out AJ.
I met an early patron subscriber on the boardwalk, and that was cool.
I went to yoga today for the first time in a while, and walking there, a guy across the street just yelled, "Jake!" So I didn't catch their name.
Well, was he talking to you, or maybe like his dog was like?
Could have been a dog. Could have been a dog. They waved.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Shout out to all those people.
Let's get into it. We did kind of forget that this Astros game, we were going to wrap into this. I mean, it is a holiday weekend, so I hope we don't get caught up doing 4 games and we're here for an hour and a half to 2 hours. We will try to be abridged and short here. There's some fun conversations to have, so I'm excited.
You want to talk about your pubes or your eyeballs?
Eyeballs, man. I didn't bring my pair of Shady Rays down here, and I have like
Oh,
two of them. I actually don't know where they are between the warehouse, my car, my mom's car I was driving for a little bit. Mine was in repair, and I can't find mine. So I guess I can get them repaired because that's part of their great deal. Is if you lose them, they will repair them.
yeah. Yeah. So
I should look into
we'll hit
that.
them up. Shady Rays, they have their lost and broken replacement guarantee, like James just mentioned. He's going to have to do that. And Shady Rays, they're giving you a real deal. I recently started wearing the aviators. Jess has started calling me Cool Jake. I don't know. I think she's trying to chop me down a little bit, but I do look good in them. ShadyRays.com. And if you use code Yanks, you get 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized shades. Shady Rays is the best part of what they're doing. They also provide 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order. They've donated over $20 million, 20 million meals to date. Excuse me. So, hey, get some sunglasses. Summer's here. Jimmy's missing his on the shore. BBD's at Nats games. I'm in the streets. You're going to wear some sunglasses. You might as well get them with Shady Rays because you get 50% off. And if you lose them or break them, they'll replace them. So ShadyRays.com, use code Yanks, 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized shades.
Let's burn this game in Houston. Burn, Jakey, burn.
Have you ever seen a Sevy with the butterfly doors? Sevy with the butterfly doors. Oh, stunting is a habit. We're down in H-Town, Space City, Funk City where the drop top, city where the cheated a little bit. And we're playing Luis Garcia as the Astros are trying to rock the baby to sleep in this one game set in Houston. Bottom three, my salsa. Alex Bregman with the 2-run double off the Crawford box. That would be all. Luis Severino would give up 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks. In the 6th, HR to the Rizzo. Put your damn hands up. Cuts the lead in half. It is 2-1. Unfortunately, that would be your final. Another Houston Yankees game, tight all the way through. Yanks can't push one across late. And Houston sweeps the Yankees. It's panic time in the Bronx.
This does count as a series sweep, which is bullshit. Yeah. I wish I would add it on to the doubleheader, but hey, Sevy pitched well. This whole series, actually, the starting pitching carried him again, and the bats were in the 2 losses the reasons for the loss. But Sevy pitched well. That weird Tucker play was odd. And Rizzo hits the home run. His season's crazy. Like that home run officially put that home run and then the game 1 versus Cleveland, which we'll get to next, put like Rizzo's season into like watch, basically. Like, crunch the numbers here.
21 homers. I think if you told Yankee fans Rizzo hits 21 homers this year, I think we'd counter back and be like, well, if he hits like 275, that's a nice little year from Riz. This was still in June when that happened. So what he's doing is pretty crazy. For all you batting average snobs, yeah, it's a little lower than you expect from Rizzo, but the 502 slugging is a little higher. So yeah, that, and against the Astros, I know, it kind of means a little more knowing that if we go to Houston, Rizzo's seen one leave the park there. And yeah, I mean, just tough. Houston can pitch, man. Garcia, and more importantly, their bullpen, who has been really good, but there's a few guys down there the Yankees have had success against. They hold up, especially Presley. Presley's the one we've really had his number. He has a nice outing there to end it. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's one of those things you end up itching and drooling because you're half excited to get out of Houston because you're like, okay, 1 game set. What are we doing? And then there's another part of you that's like, let's play 3 more, man, because it's just a different brand of baseball than literally every other team we're going to play this year.
It is. And I was like, you see it with the Indians where, hey, the Indians are tied for first. Indians fans were talking about adding pieces to this young core and making a postseason run because they can win the division. Like that's what Guardians. We're talking about that. And then you see them and not that they're not young and fun and have talent, and Sticks was awesome, but they're making errors like crazy. It's got bad brand of baseball, and they're atop their division. So I do think the Yankees and the Astros are just on a different level. And I do think it's good, man. It's not like you can spin it. They're in those games against the Astros. Like, that's why I was getting frustrated when now the Astros were like, we dominated you. I'm like, you won 3, we won 2, and they were all close games.
Yeah, and I know you've been on this a little bit, but the trade deadline this year, which as we sneak closer to, I'm sure our midweek episodes might go that way a little bit. Man, it's where are both of these teams going to increase on the margins? Houston, or outsiders of Houston, you point at the outfield or center field, the catching position. I don't think they'd touch Maldonado. I think they love him.
Well, they just called up their prospect, I believe.
A catcher?
Yeah, I thought the Astros just called up a catching prospect, or they're about to. But they're excited.
Yeah, let me know on that.
Corey Lee.
Oh, Corey Lee eats bugs. And we were jokingly, we ended up down a Zach Greinke wormhole later. So where are they going to add come the deadline, and where are the Yankees going to add / tweak that the next time it's a real Houston New York series is is Aaron Hicks involved? Is Miguel Andujar involved? Like who's the shortstop? So yeah, that's kind of the fun part at this point. We'll do that weird double dip with them right after the All-Star game, right?
Yeah.
Also in Houston.
Are we done?
Yeah.
That's wild. I don't feel, I mean, if there's any Astros fans listening, which they always kind of do just to get mad. I mean, the ALCS goes through Houston until it doesn't. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you about that. They were bad in 2020 and it still went through Houston. They are good in the postseason. They've been there every year. How many years in a row has the ALCS been gone to Houston? 5. This would be 6. The Yankees are the World Series. Plan on it. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. If they lose early, cool, awesome. But plan on it. Plan on having to go 7 games against those guys. And right now, I do think the Yankees line up, and the Yankees have some soft spots. And I would in batting, and I really would like them to make some offensive improvements.
Yeah, and at end of the day, it ends up being pretty simple. Houston's whole pitching staff has been there, done that. Christian Javier, who no-hit us, his next start was just as good. Verlander, I don't have to tell you if you're listening to this. Framber, and the top 6 in that lineup on a given day are going to be better than any other team in baseball. So, and like you said, even the little things you end up missing, they're such a strong team defensively. Pena wasn't there, and I don't think Jordan was there. So they are stacked, and so are the Yankees. So yeah, I've said it on here before. I've said it on Talking Baseball. Normally I'm a purist of sports that it's if Houston runs into the Blue Jays and they're hot, I'm not even doing that shit. These two teams are in such a different world. It's Yankees, Houston.
And in this game, I know the Astros won and all that, and the Yankees can't hit. The Yankees pitching has done well against Houston. They held them to 3 hits.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not cocky or confident against them. And I don't think anyone should be. We've seen this story play out a ton. I wonder what the starting pitching ERA is against the Astros now. Something I could probably find, but maybe if there's a way for you to find that, I'm interested. Even if you just read me the 3 game lines.
Which set are you looking for?
Just the Yankees starters versus Houston. I feel like they're all good, right? I might be blanking. Cole pitched well in the no-hit game.
Right. No, I mean, they've all been great games. I might have one cheat code way to get there. Oh, God, I might have blown it.
I mean, Fangraph's split page probably could do that, but their split page kind of gives me an aneurysm.
Pitching splits. I've got a chance.
Nestor, 5 innings, 3 earned. Game 2, Garrett Cole, 7 innings, 1 earned. Game 3, Severino, 6 innings, 3 earned. The last game, JMO, that was when he got kind of lit up, 5.2, 6 earned.
And then Sevy 6-2.
Yep.
Okay. So JMO, fall in line, dog.
Yeah, I mean, I bet if Jakey Butterknife wanted to get involved on the year against Houston, 45 innings, a 3.4 ERA. So that's against a really good offense. And Tyone was really the only guy that got jacked up. So
I read those games in the backwards order. I'm aware of it, Chad.
Oh, okay.
Huge. Let's move on.
Let's move on to game number 1 of the doubleheader. And Jakey will burn it, and the music will be added in post. Maybe. He's got fun stuff to do too. Ba-da-da-da-da. Burn, Jakey, burn. Oh, wait, time out, Jake. Stan started in left field. That was a thing for a lot of people. Left field in Houston is basically right field in the Bronx. It's the easier outfield to play, the less running. I saw a lot of people respond to the lineup on Twitter and stuff like, whoa, Stan in left, whoa. And I'm like, well, don't expect it other places. So
yeah, but
we'll see that it's not a no left field for left field's sake.
It was good to see him play out there. Houston, back to my collision course thing. It seems like that's going to happen. And then 3, I guess, to look out going forward is Fenway Park. Same shit, just a different day. And we go there in about a week.
Yeah.
People also probably mad we didn't talk about the Kyle Tucker thing more. I kind of didn't hate it on both ends. Booney with a hilarious post game because they were trying to egg him on because some people thought it was Bush League. I don't know. I thought Sevy should have called time. He didn't.
I saw that our account tweeted that. I didn't really mind that they tweeted it, but because some people do think it. I didn't at any point until I read the Talking Yanks tweet that called it Bush League think it was in any sense Bush League. Like, obviously, he's not paying attention.
Yeah. No, and that's the funny. He got thrown out, and it ended up killing what was their only rally. So they asked Boone, like, I think they were trying to set him up, like, do you think that was a Bush League or had he play? And Boone just turned his head and he put that smile on. He's like, it was a bad play. He's out. So, that's that.
They go to Cleveland to play the Guardians.
Burn. Wanna rock and roll. Oh, as the Yankees head to Cleveland to face the Guardians for 3, were rained out on Friday. Dad got drunk, so let's play 2. Naylor, I barely know her. Josh hits a home run, and a home run makes a fine meal. Fran meal. They go back to back. A lot of meat there, but the Yankees would score the next 10. DJ 26 leaves the yard on his chopper. Andujar RBI single. Hicksy and Torres get in on the fun. Who but WB Carpenter? Heartbeat Trevino gets in the mix. Guardians are so scared they call the cops. That's a 10-4 after they push a couple across. But Carpenter nails another. Viva Cuervo for Jose. Cole to Chapman. Yikes to Paisan Ron to Litke to Weber. Yanks take game 1 13-4 final.
Take that, Kirk McCarty.
Get called up for the game. Here you go, kid.
A nice, good big game, Jake. And you know what? For like game 1 of the doubleheader, I like that they went with a better lineup first. Actually, I don't mind how they handled the doubleheader lineups on both sides here. I tweeted this. I don't know if I want to save it to awards. I got into a old school, like just back and forth on Twitter.
So you get in some weeds.
Dude, it's one of those times where it's like, I fundamentally don't understand how people can disagree with what I'm saying situations, not out of like a cocky or arrogant way, or like, I'm not trying to be a douche. Like when they call up Andujar, he plays left field and bats 5th. When Gallo plays, he plays, right field because he can't play left field. We have 4 right fielders that can play out there, and bats 9th and is a platoon. So like if Andujar and Gallo were both on the team, Andujar plays over him per the Yankees decision making. Like if it wasn't roster construct, Andujar would be playing. We saw it for a 10-game stretch. I just don't like what's the harm in playing Andujar over Gallo until the deadline? Because the side, everyone that was arguing with me agrees we need to trade for an outfielder, which I'm like, yeah, everyone in the world agrees we need to trade for the outfield. There's articles written about it. The Yankees are saying that. What's the harm? If that means we're bailing on Gallo, so what's the harm in testing out Andujar for 3 weeks and trying something different?
Yeah.
But they're like, Andujar's horrible. I'm like, so is Gallo. Gallo's the worst Yankee we've ever seen. Anyone that is less than 120 years old is the worst Yankee over 200 plate appearances we've ever seen. I did all the number crunching today.
Love
like,
you,
what's
Bruce.
the harm?
Yeah, I mean, there's layers to that, right? Like if, even if it's just a display for Andujar, if he's not the answer and you could spin that to play in both games of the doubleheader. We know the Yankees, especially resting Judge today, going into the 4th of July to try to get the double rest. And we've seen the Yankees in the past, if they call a guy up, they're going to use them. Yeah, I mean, again, there's not really much of a counter to what you're saying. It's just more so of the, Gallo's defense has been good lately, and that's about it. That's all you can say for him in a complimentary way.
At a position of zero need.
Right. And Andujar, again, it's almost not a Gallo conversation. I mean, JoJo, he had basically you can have a bad start in baseball. A lot of players have and will. He ran into a month-long tryout and he instantly hit an 0 for 24 skid. So I don't know how the Yankees are going to handle that. I know we've talked about that ad nauseum. I guess the question just becomes, what is it for Andujar? Because the Yankees think he can hit. The question is, can he play defense well enough, which we don't know. He's looked better, but
we don't know, but we know they'll put him in left field and they won't put Gallo in left field.
Yeah, he ended up there today. But so did Glaber at short. I don't know where they are at with Andujar because, and we're going to find out come the trade deadline and maybe the next couple weeks, do they think Andujar is a potential solution? Do they think between Hicks, Andujar, potentially Gallo, that they have their outfielder? I don't know. I don't think so.
I hope they don't think so. Not in a year where we have to go for it. I don't think they do.
If Andujar got run and he looks good at the plate like he did and he looks average defensively, do you think they could end up in a place where Andujar starts game, Hicks finishes as a defensive replacement? Like, do you think that could be? No. Okay.
No, and that's where I think people are getting confused. Like, I don't want that. But so that's why I'm saying in every tweet I said, until the deadline, we're punting on Gallo. That's written in stone. So try something new. You're not going to get anything. And then honestly, I'm to the point where if Gallo wasn't a white dude with an Italian last name, I think he gets treated a bajillion% different. And I'm getting very fed up with that aspect of it. Because, like, he's the worst Yankee we've seen in pinstripes. The only 2 guys that have had more plate appearances to start a season and less hits are Red Kleinow from 1908 and Mont Beville from 1903. Like, historically, the worst start to a season, the most run a guy has ever gotten. And I still have people replying to me like, well, if Gallo gets into a couple, like, you know what Jorge Soler got traded for last year? 129th pick, single A reliever. And Jorge Soler went off for 2 weeks before the deadline, hit 7 home runs. So you're saying if Gallo goes off, huge if, because he won't change his approach, he's stated that, you're talking about a single A reliever. That's the worth of the return that you want to just keep running him out there for? People are delusional or just really like Italians.
Yeah. I mean, the other side of that would be whoever in the Yankees front office, and we know some of them have to be invested in it, although we've heard definitely not all of them. is that exactly what you just said kind of hurts against them, that they'll keep running the hammer into the ground for the next couple weeks because nothing will change. And the biggest thing between Jorge Soler and him was Jorge Soler was on a Kansas City Royals team that was losing games and out of it, while these Yankees are on a historic winning pace. So that's a Joey Gallo. You're right with the Italian stuff. I mean, it's a little bizarre. I do think it's under the Jake Storielli's rule of winning cures everything, that if this team was around 500, like he would have been tarred and feathered in the middle of Times Square by now. But right now, people are still compartmentalizing him in a like, could you imagine if he did what he used to do? And that's, I'm with you, man. It seems like we're far past that.
A point of frustration on Gallo and the lack of changing approach too. Even if in the past he didn't like overall change an approach, like last year he led baseball in bunt hits with 7. I think he has 1 bunt attempt this year. I'm not saying he even has to swing different, but once in a while you're doing nothing.
I had people
doing nothing.
I had people telling me that if when the shift's gone, so then I went and looked at a spray chart of hard hit balls that were like outs, and like it's like 7 hits, and I was crunching the numbers, and I'm like, nah, like no.
Still strikes out a lot.
New York City isn't for everyone. I think that's your safest thing to put your hat on.
It was cool to see Andujar come through in game 1 here with 2 outs with runners on. I know it was his only hit. He did have a couple more hard hit balls. And again, I am not pining for Andujar because I think Andujar is the answer. I'm pining for someone else besides Gallo.
I guess that's where. And
Florial, people were counting with Florial. Sure. Fuck it. We're winning. There's no need to not try things out.
I guess that's where I keep putting myself in a blender because, we are like kind of real media now. Hilarious. But sometimes we forget like what's going on actually in the walls. Like the Yankees, sure, they probably think they're going to be looking for values and deals at the deadline, as they do every year. It's part of their job. Okay, Jake, LinkedIn. Inside the walls of the Yankees, they're saying we've put together one of the best baseball teams ever assembled. So that's where, for the outfield, I start spinning myself in circles between Hicks, Andujar, Gallo. I mean, if you get a Florial in there, the shortstop position, our other topic, IKF had looked better defensively, and then he had a little slip up again, and Peraza's starting to go at AAA, and there's not really shortstop options out there. So I don't know. I mean, still what honestly has made the most sense from the start would be you find an outfielder because nothing is guaranteed. Like right now, if the playoffs were tomorrow, I'd probably say throw Papadou out there and you have Hicks for the defensive replacement. And you're right. Like that's nothing's guaranteed there at all. So that's what I don't know.
Someone just said like in the chat, like Gallo's better than Andujar though. LOL. And it's like, no, he's not. Gallo's not better. 2022 Gallo isn't better than anyone.
Yeah.
And what's happening? That's where I'm getting so twisted up into like a place of just like, am I on the Truman Show when these people say these things?
Right. I don't think you are.
I don't know. It's crazy how many Gallo defenders there are out there.
0.1 WAR this year for Gallo.
I wish he was awesome, dude. He's a good guy. He's funny. He's like likable. I just don't think New York's a spot for him. In pinstripes, his performance has not been great.
No one will be surprised if he
good
goes somewhere else and becomes good again. But Yankees won this game.
If you like Gallo and you didn't like Sonny Gray, then whoa, like that's the person I want to talk to. If you're Team Gallo, but you didn't like Sonny, then you have the Italian flag tattooed on your body.
And I was going to do a whole award about comparing him to players you've hated, like Chris Carter, Chris Stewart, all these guys, because we've literally never seen a worse stretch, but I've never seen someone have so many defenders.
Yeah. Yanks blow him out. Cole, and so this actually ties in a little bit. Cole, and this is when I saw you starting to get in the weeds, and I was like, all right, 4th of July jam. People were calling out Cole, and he's been fucking lights out. Yeah. And then luckily the young part of Yankee Twitter, they had a couple good, or what do they call them? Memes where they were showing just the comparison if Garrett Cole has a good start compared to somebody else. And it's, he's on a different scale, which is partially fair, but Garrett Cole is also really, really good.
Yeah, I might have an award for him later. So like,
Ooh,
zip it. Mole, mole, mole.
and what was the other, I'll say it, there was a tweet out there. Someone who tweets at us a lot, and this is a podcast, but they were like, Miguel Andujar feels how Clint Frazier used to feel.
Yeah, I mean was that like Logic Yankees? It's a guy that tweets at us a lot. It was, and I'll say it because it's true. He
right.
Said, it was Matt's Diamond MLB. Andujar getting shafted the way Clint thought he was.
Yeah.
And that is like, he deserves a shot. Now, that doesn't mean, because everyone's like, you think he'll be good? And it's like, no, I just think he deserves a shot. He's crushing AAA, and we have someone being bad in MLB. So like, he deserves a shot. And if Clint Frazier on Baseball Reference now is Jackson Frazier.
Yeah.
Oh, change went through.
Yeah. It's wild. Because the only stretch like comparable to Gallo is Clint in 2021. If you drop it to like 200 games with like the least amount of production, it's like that. And another guy who couldn't play left, and his defenders were like, we'll put him in right. Funny.
Game two.
Burn.
Jakey Burn.
Two pitchers displaying how the letter C can be pronounced. Cortez versus Savali. I forget the Savali's family sell the cannolis off a third. Bottom one. Oh. Ahmed Rosario. Solo home run. 1-0 guards. Top four. Back to back. Belly to belly. You just rizzed in your pants, my G. Tony, Meatballs, and Giancarlo make it 2-1 Yanks. It'd stay that way into the 7th. Big start by Nestor. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 6 Ks. Then playing at Progressive Field, the Yankees get their insurance runs. JD brings a nice mist of rain with an RBI double. IKF, RBI, and a Higgy sack fly. It's 6-1 Yanks. Nestor to King to Wandy to Clay. Yankees take game 2 in Cleveland.
The Yanks are good. They go down early, and that's just Nestor prodding them. Another comeback, and I did air quotes because I don't know. It's not really a comeback. Right. They should probably change. I understand it. They were losing and they came back, but it's first inning.
It was a little clench, but Nestor gives up a homer to the second hitter of the game, and you're like, all right, ball was kind of flying out that series, and then Nestor locked it in. Awesome to see, and comeback. Once the Yankees are back up 2-1, I mean the rest is still unwritten.
It's nice that Nestor, because you're like, crap. The rotation had 2 times not great through. I think what it was a 5 ERA for the main 5 guys 2 times through. Cole was the only one dealing. And then you're like, shit, dude. Like, if Nestor, if you have a bad one here, like it really starts like, I don't know. We start looking, poking, we're like just a little bit. And then he goes 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned. So it's like, all right, never mind. Sorry, man. Our bad.
My king with a 2-inning 40 pitch outing. I think that's of note. And then low leverage Wandy. Come on, Boney. We're going to have to talk to him next time. That's not Wandy's game. Wandy needs to feel it. Wandy Peralta does much better coming into bases loaded, no outs than no outs up 6. So they have to go to Clay. He throws 2 bullets and game over.
2 pitches. Yeah. 2 pitches. He hadn't thrown more than 24 pitches. He hadn't thrown 38. He threw 38 on May 17th. So it's of note for Kinger stretching back out.
Loved how much Paul O'Neill loved that Ruocco took the under on the pitches to end the game. It's a good one, Rooks. You had it. I guess I think we're probably going to save it for awards because we didn't talk too much about Chapman's appearance. So I'll tee that up for later. But that's of note for King. Low leverage Wandy, and then Stanton and Rizzo, they both hit their like signature home runs. Rizzo hits the lean back and watch it home run, while Stanton hits the line drive, take 2 cool steps, and that's it.
Absolutely sat on that curveball. And yeah,
I thought Judge was going to get one of those. I saw Savali twirl a couple up there in the first inning, and I was like, man, if he puts one in the wrong spot, Judge is going to do damage with it. And then he actually, his third at bat, he flipped him a couple, and Judge, he didn't get him, but yeah.
So when we did the Yes Network, a little behind the scenes for the people, when we went and we posted a behind the scenes on the John Boy Jake TV channel, a little behind the scenes vlog. We now have they're allowing us access to their one sheet that the booth gets with all their fun facts, and it is amazing. And they said we were only allowed to get it and use it if we give them credit. We would have given them credit anyway, because that's pretty petty to not give people credit for things. So shout out to Quags and James Smythe, because I have a whole notes app. I just copy and paste the ones I think I want to share with the audience. So, if you hear me say thanks, Quags, that's what that means moving forward. When Stan hit that home run, now him, Rizzo, and Judge all have 20 home runs. Did you see this stat, Jake? So the Yankees 2, 3, and 4 hitters all have over 20 home runs or over. The rest of the American League only has 3 players. So there's 6 players in the American League with 20 home runs or more, and 3 of them are the Yankees 2, 3, 4 hitters.
It's nuts, man. And I mean, Judgy, I'm sure we'll talk about him at some point. He's it's slowed down for a week or so, which is fine. But what Rizzo's done, I mean, Stanton in his slump casually hit like 7 homers. It was just the only thing he hit. It's part of the reason this team is special. And dude, how funny is it? So wait, you're telling me the lefty first baseman that chokes up sometimes between Judge and Stanton, that worked? Because that's I think you could go back to some 2018 Talking Yanks episodes and you might get that same scouting report. But we didn't expect these many home runs from Rizzo. You got to be honest about that. But yeah, man, I mean, what they're doing is special, and it ties into it. And I think it's where you and I get equal parts excited, but equal parts scary, because what they are doing is so special that it's covering up other parts of the team that have not been special. They've been, in fact, below average. That if the postseason comes and we know Stanton gets hot and cold, every baseball player gets hot and cold, that you can't necessarily lean on that come October.
Yeah, like when you face good pitchers, we're really leaning on 4 guys. And that can be better. So those guys are really good right now. But yeah, Stan's 100th home run as a Yankee. He's the 7th fastest to 100 home runs as a Yankee. 403 games. So good job, Stan.
Gare Bear at number 3 there. Going to be a great trivia question in future years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. Anything else about this game? Game number 2 with the lineup. I mean, Carpenter and Trevino padding their stats against the pitcher. I love that. 2 guys who, will be getting paid. Yeah, why not? I think the only pitcher that kept hits off the bases was Clement.
Yeah, he had 2 walks, 2 for 3. Carpenter, unreal. I mean, I don't even know where that conversation goes. And Noah Trevino getting one off the position player. That's chef's kiss.
Love it. He's been hitting the ball hard. I mean, in Houston, he had 3 hard hit balls. So still bearing him up. He's on a little bit of a slide right now too. So they face good pitching. The last game 3 or 4. Let's kick this one quick.
Yeah.
Boom.
Ooh, Yankees trying to get the sweep in a game where the pitching matchup sounds like a canceled cartoon. Gumby versus Sticks. Jordan Montgomery versus Tristan McKenzie. Bottom 4-0, big Franny. Franmil goes yard to make it 1-0 Cleveland. That would be the only run Monty gave up. 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts for Jordan. In the 8th, Franny again slaps one the other way, pushes across Cleveland's second run. Sticks was nails, dude. How about 7 innings pitched, 0 earned run for him? He's a really nice guy. If that makes anyone feel better about the Yankees loss, they lose 2-0. Yankees threw their A team out of the bullpen, Sears to Abreu, but they can't overcome it. Guardians win 2-0.
Thought they were going to come back and get it at one point. Sticks, Tristan McKenzie was pretty good. Him and Monty both have the two of the top 5 curveballs in the league right now. So it was a curveball off today, like that. Thanks, Quags. Sticks, Tristan McKenzie came to our Arizona house. There's going to be a video coming out next week or 2 weeks of he was in our ping pong tournament, and I had to face him in the first game. He played video games with Joe's, and he also then just hung out for like 4 hours playing ping pong against like anyone from our office, like producers, editors, playing video games. So hard not for me not to root for him, even though it's the Yankees. Like I would have liked, a 3-2 win would have been nice. Get him once or twice. But yeah, he was an awesome kid, and he was nasty. He pitched really well.
Yeah, it felt like they almost had their chance in the first inning. They had 3 hard hit balls, and McKenzie, I think he's the number 1 fly ball pitcher in baseball, and the Yankees are hitting homers. So you always wonder, is that going to be the formula? It backfires. Then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, no DJ, no Judge. Mm-hmm. That always feels a little tough, but it's kind of this Yankees in the last inning. They literally loaded the bases against the guy who just won the reliever of the month award. So there's fight. If we're losing 1 game a week, that's kind of what's happening. So I don't know. It felt like a game you could have, and you're right, especially when the Guardians, they had that base running blunder. That's when I fully sat up and I was like, oh, you can't do that.
Yeah,
you can't do that. And they just couldn't get the final hit to drop to make it a little more juicy.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the lineup now, 5-hole Trevino, 6-hole Hicks, 7 Kiner, 8 Gallo. Maybe not the winning lineup.
Yeah, and it's when you pinch hit DJ, Judge, and Carpenter, which Judge is our number 1 hitter this year. DJ's 3 or 4. Carpenter's probably sneaking up to 5 or 6, and you're like, okay, so 3 of our top 6 hitters weren't in the lineup today on a getaway day game right before the 4th of July off day. It is what it is. Jimmy, I told you guys in the office, I don't think I said it on Talking Yanks, I have now become the biggest proponent of double rest days ever since our upcoming hockey tournament that'll be coming out soon for you guys, a team double rest day. So if that's how they sneak an off day for Judge as we head towards the middle of summer, I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it at all. The only thing I didn't like here is pinch hit for Gallo. Let Marwin hit. I know it's lefty for lefty, but pinch hit Carpenter or pinch hit, leave Kiner in, because that's what I don't like here. So this is the roster construction that they've backed themselves into a corner here. It's Kiner, Gallo, Marwin coming up. They pinch it DJ for IKF because that's infielder for infielder and an easy situation. DJ goes to second, Glaber goes to short. Problem is Marwin's not our backup shortstop anymore. He's a starting, he's a floating around. I think he started 4 of the last 5 games in the outfield. So we don't have a backup shortstop anymore. So you kind of can't pinch hit for IKF anymore. We saw what happened when Glaber goes over to short. That's bad roster construction to have 2 bad defensive shortstops. And then your one decent one is now a starting corner outfielder in the rotation out there. They let Gallo hit, and then they pinch hit Carpenter for Marwin. So now Marwin's out. Instead, let Kiner hit, pinch hit DJ for Gallo, and then move like Marwin around. He was in left field. Gallo's in right field.
I think you'd ideally pinch hit for Kiner and Gallo, and then Marwin can slide to shortstop.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But they messed that up. They kept in the worst hitter who strikes out on 4 pitches. The first pitch was a strike and called it a ball. And then Glaber had to play short. It's like you botched that 2 different ways. Like who's the one guy you don't want to get? It's Gallo.
They're not ready to drive the final stake through it yet, but
Well, they pinch hit for him every other time. It's been late and close, like in the last 2 weeks.
But I don't think they've done lefty for lefty.
No,
though.
no, that's the final nail. It's not a matchup situation. It's just you're not good right now, so they won't drive that. But that was like not that it really matters, but that was just a blunder of substitutions.
Yeah, and hey, you sat 3 of your top 6 hitters recently. It's a getaway day. You had already won the series after a doubleheader, and the team as a whole had 1 hit and 2 errors. So that's just not a winning formula.
Yeah.
And they still had a chance to win at the end.
They still had a chance to win it. I mean, the Astros game and this game, they had the tying run at the plate or on base. Ninth signature loss. All right, let's get into the second half of the show, which is the awards. So brought to you by our good friends at Manscaped. Clean up 4th of July. I know Jake's got stars and stripes, and he did it in the shower with the waterproof skin safe technology in the dark because he doesn't like look at himself naked yet, but he did have the LED light to shine it to make sure he knew what he was trimming and how it came out. It's gorgeous. BBD sent me a picture of it and I enjoyed it. You can get the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 and be just like Jake, and you can use code YANKS to get 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. manscaped.com. Use code YANKS. First award we give out here on Talking Yanks is Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
And I get to go first.
Right. Sunday.
Cool. Dude, I haven't thought about this. I thought about other awards.
Sure.
Damn, there's a lot of options, huh?
Couple 2 tree, huh?
Dude, fuck it. I'll go Matt Carpenter.
Okay.
Like Matt Carpenter right now has the highest OPS of all players with 50 plate appearances or more in a landslide. He's hit 8 home runs. I know the last one was against a position player, but go get it, Matty. That's more home runs than he hit his last 2 seasons in the Cardinals combined. He's not using batting gloves. He's got that mustache. I mean, he should be challenging JD for playing time, I think. I know that it was interesting because Savali and McKenzie both have reverse splits. So you would have thought Carpenter would play against McKenzie, but he played against I forget who he started against. Savali?
Carpenter? He started against the guy who got called up, right? Not Pilkington. McCarty.
He started game 1, Carp?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he a righty or lefty?
He was righty, right?
Yeah, I think
Double
so.
check.
But anyway, I mean, Donaldson.
He's a lefty. Sorry.
Yeah, that because they did reverse splits. They started the lefty versus the lefty, and then JD versus Tristan. But if you look at that pitcher and McKenzie's splits, they're reverse pitch split pitchers. Anyway, I guess quickly platoon them. Would you do that, or is it more? I would understand if someone would say it's more worthwhile to get JD going. His last 5 hits before today were all doubles. He had like a hit a game in his last 4 hits. So if someone was to say it's in our better interest to keep Carpenter as a bench piece and doing it off the bench and starting JD, I would get it, but I think I would platoon him for a little.
Well, something of note, James, did you see where Matt Carpenter finished today's game?
First? Third?
Right field.
Oh,
his first appearance in right field since 2014, I think. So I don't think that's on the table. I think that was very much more Luke Voigt in right field when he came over. But here's what I'll say, because you've been on the Marwin train. And by the way, Marwin's deserved it. Whether shortstop or corner outfield, you can point at a couple specific guys and say he's been better. We need to flush out this Matt Carpenter thing. And the question is the how, because Donaldson, he hasn't been bad enough that you punt on. Baseball's a tough sport. His OPS is at 700. He's around league average. The Yankees are paying him a good amount of money. This is where the business side of baseball comes in, that the Yankees aren't going to punt on Josh Donaldson until October if they really need to.
Yeah,
So if for me, and this isn't necessarily how it works because you got to really start shuffling bodies around, but if it came down to getting Marwin at bats or Matt Carpenter at bats, get Matt Carpenter at bats because Marwin, end of the day, is going to be Marwin Gonzalez. He's super versatile. He gives you an at bat from both sides. Matt Carpenter may have found something. I don't think it's a 900 slugging, but like Matt Carpenter, he's got the story, right? Like this is a guy who was a really good baseball player, 3-time All-Star, Silver Slugger. Like he has the resume. Couple weird years with the Lou. He has a story. He went around a bunch of hitting coach and different hitters to try to figure it out. And man, it looks like he has. So I don't know. I mean, is there a world where Matt Carpenter finds a way as like a starting player in a playoff lineup? Absolutely. Marwin, you could probably say the same, but it's very much in a like, we need you out there, kid, where Matt Carpenter could be our best 5-6 hole hitter on a given day, especially if he's anything like this. So you kind of have to find out, right?
I agree. I want to dial some things back for anyone that might misconstrue what we're saying. I wasn't saying platoon him with Donaldson at third. Donaldson, you okay? You get a cramp?
Leg cramp.
Donaldson DHs some days. DJ would play third and give Carp those DH days. Donaldson's numbers as a DH aren't good, and I think his splits against righties aren't good. Or Donaldson's got some splits. So I'm not saying someone said that Donaldson's better.
It's not a 1-for-1.
Not a 1-for-1 defensively. Yeah. And what you're saying is you don't think he'd be the starting every day guy in the postseason, but you're saying there's a world where he starts games like a platoon starter in the postseason. So I just want to make sure people don't think we're saying too far.
No, I mean, he's been so good that you kind of got to find out what's up. And I think that's, like you were saying, a la Marwin, if it's 2 out of 3 games or 3 out of 4, something like that, if you're giving him regular bats and he keeps hitting in this realm, like he's a starter, you play that guy. So yeah, man. And he's the cool thing about this Yankees that they've started to hammer home on the broadcast, and every time they talk to a player, they bring it up, but they talk about the professionalism of the Yankees locker room. Everyone does their own business and they carry their thing. Like I think Matt Carpenter at this point was, earn your keep. If you get one pinch hit at bat, you got to make it count. Like he's talk about earning playing time.
Nuts.
Maybe he gets exposed if he starts playing every day or half the games, but he's earned the right to find it out.
And
that's what I'm saying about a lot of these. It's kind of my same argument with Andor and Gallo. Like, we've earned the right to just like see what's going on. Most home runs in first 19 games with the Yankees. Number 1, Glenn Allen Hill.
My guy.
Number 2, Gary Sanchez. Tied for number 2, Matt Carpenter. Pretty wild.
3 guys I like.
Yeah. Luke Voigt had 7.
He got it going. Remember that?
Yeah, it was nuts. Thanks,
Anyone else
Quacks.
you like, Jake?
Well, I like my Shady Rigs and my Manscaped, but for my standout performance, I will go to King Nestor. Nestor had been the like one of the stories around baseball, right? Like this guy is leading the Cy Young, and is he going to start the All-Star game? His ERA was 1.55, I believe, like 12 starts in. And then, his ERA was 1.5, 10 starts in. So he goes to Minnesota, and that's not a real place. Jimmy, you know that. 4.14 earned runs. And then he bounced back against Tampa. It was 5.11 earned run. Tampa again, 4.14. Houston, 5-3. The ERA jumped up full point, 2.51, which again, still an incredible season, and you're through 14 starts. But it felt like the pixie dust was wearing off against Cleveland. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, only 3 hits, no walks. Like after that first home run for the second batter of the game, he dominated. So that was huge because you kind of heard it in everyone's voice. You heard it in Paul O'Neill's voice. Like, is this, unfortunately, there's been a lot of pitchers in baseball that have had pretty good 10-game runs. There's not a lot of pitchers that have come out of nowhere to have incredible 33 start runs. And Nestor gets back on. So that's huge for him and huge for, like, I don't know. He's part of the team's vibe this year. So Nestor shoves.
Good job by Nestor. I'm interested. He like changed his pitch mix in those bad couple games. June 8th, June 21st. He started throwing the four-seamer way more. And I was just trying to dance around and see if that's because of like handedness or of those lineups, or just like saw Tampa Bay again, didn't want to change it up, but he went back down to a closer mix between the cutter and the fastball.
And Flash was on it a couple starts ago that hitters were, and it's so funny. Like we play blitzball in our warehouse and we notice stuff like this, and it's like analysis. Flash was just like, hitters are just staying open to the inside cutter because Nestor throws it there like half the time, basically. And if you could get the barrel out, that's how you hit the cutter. So I think hitters started to adjust. He got hit, and now I think he's adjusting back. So we always hear players talk about that it's just constant adjusting. Unless you're like a Justin Verlander, because the sauce works every time. Nestor's got to try some different sauces.
The sauce works every time. Nestor struck out Jose Ramirez 3 times in that game. Fun fact from Quags: the last pitcher to strike out Jose Ramirez 3 times in a single game, Justin Verlander in 2019.
Look at
that.
Big one to get out of the game. Big one to get out of the inning there.
Yeah, good stuff. All right.
He also, in his last 5 games, he's given up 7 homers. He was giving up just so few homers before that it could just be it's just evening out. He gave up 4 homers in the first 10 games of the year. That wasn't going to hold up.
Yeah, I mean, he started giving up on the cutter, I believe, and that could be what Jake's saying, and that's why he pivoted so much. Next award isn't a fun one. It's you Yankee motherfucker.
You Yankee motherfucker.
Band-Aid, Chapman, bad times, man. You 3 walks, just 3 uncompetitive walks, and you're out. Didn't even wait for Boone to hand him the ball, just kind of walked off the field. I get it, but you're taking someone's spot. So, well, you're not ready. Like, what's going on? What are you protesting? Low leverage situations? I don't think he's protesting. I don't think he wasn't ready. But like, what's going on? That sucks, dude.
Straight fastball command. I mean, it was kind of Chappie's problem before, and you're hate to jump into Yankees analytics again, but you'd like to think the way his rehab start would end would be, can you throw your fastball for a strike? And he could not. He was back to the Chapman. The only pitch he had control was a slider, so he started throwing a ton of sliders. And guess what? Chappie's 85-mile-per-hour slider isn't as impressive when you can sit on it and not have to live in fear of a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. So, yeah, I'm not going to defend him. That's as bad of a relief appearance in a 10-2 game as you can have. He did. I think there was at least 2 of them were 3-2 counts. So if one ends up over the plate, it's not as tragic. But yeah, I mean, trying to build him back up to whatever role, as bad of a start as you can do.
Yeah, and that did leave in. We didn't talk about the roster funny business to get him on the roster. Not funny. I mean, they said he was going to come up, and then they called up Sears for the spot start, and then they called up Weber. And you're like, wait, I thought Chapman was getting activated, but then they would have had to make a move. So Castro's. Congratulations to Castro, my baby, on paternity leave. So they were able to use that. And then Marinaccio pitches well. Like, he looked good, but he's got a dead arm, I guess. So now he's on the IL. And They call Sears back up, which makes it easier for when Castro comes back to not have to get rid of anyone. But they also, I mean, the DFA'd Ben Wallace a little bit ago. They traded him to the Pirates. That's the roster keeping of it all.
Yeah, I don't want to say full blown funny business, but the whole Marinaccio thing was bizarre. He comes out, he saves Chapman's ass, and then after the game, they're like, "Yeah, he's got a tired arm. He asked for a little bit." And you're like, "I don't know, man. He's been like one of the best relievers in baseball."
The only thing that's weird is that Sears like found out in the middle of the night and had to like fly, like all that shit. So,
Yeah.
All right. Do you have an MFer?
I will. Joey will get dodged for now because he's just kind of living in an MF life, and I'll go to the other guy. I'll go IKF. IKF roped me in for a little bit because, hey, man, he had about 10 games of defense that it was like, you're making nice plays. You're making the high level plays we've talked about. Yeah.
I'll go 5. The Oakland series and then up until today.
Okay. He had looked good, and it was like, okay, you know, I start talking my baseball brain. Is he getting better? Is he getting more comfortable? Has he, you know, fuck the haters, blocking out the noise, aka talking Yanks. And then today, I mean, you talk about, you know, our guy JoJo's thinking about a lot of things right now. You see IKF, he feels that grounder, mild flaw was running on the pitch. And you see him literally does the tap. He looks at mild flaw. He throws it to first, and you go, oh no, you can't have that. And hey, Glaber, I mean, puts a little cherry on top later in the game that shows that shortstop is a different world. You can't just play that position. And man, I know he had the one hit that got by the second baseman. If you remember, it took a little funky hop on Clement. But that was his only hit of the series. I think every other at bat was a ground ball to shortstop or second base. And like, there was one strikeout as well, but the at bats are getting tougher to watch. There's kind of no motive to the at bats. It's kind of just swing and hope you hit a single
like a little leaguer.
So I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. So it's the same speech you've given a lot this year.
9 games without an extra base hit. I think 31 plate appearances. He's getting taken out of games, man. So, and some people are saying like, well, he was a stopgap, and it's like, all right, well, cool. That's what we said at the start. Right. And people told us no, that he was the real deal. And we were like, no, he's a stopgap. Well, he stopped the gap. Peraza's playing well. We have wiggle room. Let the kid shine. Like, sure, that's what we're saying. It's a World Series season, so that's not stopgap time. But he was looking better, not like smooth, but he was making plays. But he does look better when he doesn't think, when he has time. I mean, that was like, let the ball play him, double pump spike. He made his best play of the season in Houston. We didn't mention that one. That diving. That was a high level play. So, but yeah, man, it's kind of goes back to Andujar, goes back to whoever you want to see play outfield. Like, let's find out about Peraza. Like Jimmy and I were not. I'm not betting Noodle's life that Peraza's the solution. No prospect in baseball has ever been a bona fide solution, but the sooner we could find out, the better, because the trade deadline's coming up, and that's where. You know, I replied to Petriello online today because he was bringing it up. And I don't know. I think that for shortstop, A, there's not a ton of dudes available. And B, between IKF, Marwin, and Peraza, I will exclude Glaber now after today. I think they have some sort of solution at shortstop. Because going back to what I said before, the Yankees front office right now is saying we've put together a super team that if IKF is the weakness, I think they think the rest of the team can overcome that. Or, I mean, maybe they would go nuclear and it's Marwin if they truly get to the end of the season and we haven't found out about Peraza. But yeah, I mean, Peraza, go look at the stolen base numbers. Joe's McFly randomly posted some of his highlights the other day. There's some eye test stuff there, and it's a little bit of you don't know what you don't know, but I don't know. Let's find out, because I know what IKF is. He's played exactly to his baseball card.
like to a T. That, okay, I know what that is. If we really want to tap into that later on in the season, it's ready if Marwin looks bad, but why not find out?
Why not find out? I agree. The offense is
Got him.
Your defense would need to be great. If the defense was great and you didn't have to worry about it, like you knew that he wasn't spending any mental capacity on the defense, like Squid, like he was just great, then I'd think you'd say, hey, let's try taking a couple pitches. But I feel like if they're giving him any instruction or feedback right now, it's shore up that D.
Well, and that's kind of, I got roped in a little bit because I was like, you know what? Maybe he's at the plate. He's kind of came to grips with what he is. Because, there was a whole swing revolution thing before the season. He bailed on that pretty quickly. But, the double play today was nice. Like he, didn't think, twirled it to Glaber. The play against Houston was really good. He had a couple good ones that I was like, all right, maybe he just snapped and he's like, I'm going to go on defense and that's it. But then, yeah, you see that one today and you just, that 10th inning error a couple series ago, you can't do that. Marwin Gonzalez doesn't do that.
Yeah. Gotta make the routine ones. All right, let's rip off some awards. I got a quick one here.
Quick awards.
We want to get out of here. I'm giving out the Cut It Out award. Cut it out.
Joey.
No.
Oh, that's not my guess. I'm talking about the TV show.
Oh,
yeah. That's his signature move.
yes.
What are you cutting out, dude? Are you cutting out carbs? Are you cutting out Ryan Weber?
Dude, I didn't watch. I told my dad, I said, you watch this.
Right.
We were enjoying the game together. He said, why? I said, I can't watch that guy pitch.
Yeah.
I heard he got 3 fly ball outs, so that's great.
I might next time you and me play blitzball against each other, I might copy his motion just to get in your head.
Zoe.
Ha, hey.
Zoe throws like that.
Zoe throws.
No, Garrett Cole, man. He threw one cutter, went for a home run in the first inning, didn't throw a single cutter again. That's the one cutter he threw in that game. And I think we've seen him over the course of this season kind of be like, yeah, cool, cutter. Everyone's doing cutters. Cool. I'm gonna do a cutter too. And then lately it's been like, yeah, maybe I fuck that cutter thing. I'm out. You just one cutter, home run, boom. You telling me this cutter is just a little bit worse version of my fastball? I'm like, yeah, a little bit. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna stop throwing that. So I'm interested to see if it's done for good or if it's a game to game, batter to batter situation. But I did find it funny. You tweeted about it. And then I went back after the game and looked at it. Like, how many did he end up throwing? It's like, nope, that was it. Did not throw it again.
Paul O'Neill, he obviously has his moments of brilliance. He basically what you just said, he goes, Cole's cutter, just a bad fastball. It's like, yeah, that's not good. Maybe Cole and his arm slot, I'm a big arm slot guy. I think that's why Mariano had the best cutter ever. I think it was tuned. His arm slot was tuned for a cutter. Cole, maybe try that sinker stuff. Have you seen what Clay Holmes has been about? Like, you throw that hard, you're kind of the same body type. Like, what? Why not?
He doesn't
why not lean in?
He doesn't throw a changeup either. So he might not just be a pronator guy. Like, he throws a changeup a little bit, but like he might just not have that motion. Some people like David Cohn, he said, I was a natural pronator guy. So I was two seam, I was change up, and then the curveball was so different, but he wasn't like slider cutter was. So maybe that's
Cole's
just
got a change up. No,
he doesn't throw it a lot. He's kind of, that was like last year's new pitch that he kind of like every now and then he brings it out, but
I mean, it's got to be a lefty. It's got to be a lefties only pitch for him, right?
His changeup.
Yeah.
like lefties ahead of the Kents or something.
Yeah, it's lefties only, but he doesn't. He was through it more a couple of times last year, but it's not that much anymore. He's really the third pitch, I think, has been the curveball, which last year he scrapped, but he kind of has gone back to just being a fucking fastball slider pitcher these last couple starts.
It's a decent formula.
Yeah.
Decent formula.
So the cutter might be gone. One page says he threw 2. Another page said, oh, he threw 2. Or no, one page said he threw 2. Another page I thought said he threw 1. I don't know. Cut it out.
Jimbo.
2 pitch, 2. My bad. He threw 2. He got 1 swing, homer, out.
Still a bad ratio, you know?
Your first award.
James. My first award.
Yeah.
Is the Thanks for Tuning In award.
Oh.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in is gonna go to Jordan Montgomery.
Ooh, Monty would not like our show. And neither would this guy. It's going to DJ LeMahieu. Jim, a couple eps back, I said, DJ, the on base stuff is cool and all. But Daddy wants you to put a couple more charges into the ball. And he did. He had the home run in the first game. Recently, the whole month of June, we talked about it. He almost won our Hot Wood Award, prestigious. But recently, the on base percentage stuff has been really cool. And in front of Judgy, I mean, you can't ask for more. His month of June was incredible. In the last 9 games, 310, 474, 991. So, we've kind of run away from Juice Ball DJ and OPS. I was looking for a little bingo. He's starting to hit the ball a little more. I think pitchers were surprised that he was taking so many walks, which, hey, in front of big Aaron Judge, that's not bad. But DJ's starting to hit a little more. I love it. When he's at his best at the top of our lineup, that's when the Yankees are at their best. And yeah, he's got I think we're going to see a little more pop from DJ.
Good award. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in, Deej.
He didn't tune in.
Oh, no. He might watch floorball, though.
Dude, we shouldn't do one in the offseason and have him play. He'd come play.
DJ LeMahieu would rip shots at me for hours.
Yes. He'd get lost. His wife would be mad at us.
Yeah. What's your final award?
My final award is the
Okay.
Carpenter times 10 award.
Carpenter times 10 award.
The Carpenter times 10 award.
Okay. It's going to Josh Donaldson.
No. Carpenter. Okay. 3-time All-Star. Great player. Rejuvenating.
Yes.
Hitting more home runs. Getting better. It's great. It's fun. It's 50 plate appearances. Rizzo is on pace for 42 home runs.
Yeah.
He is on pace to have a season he hasn't had in a while. From 2014 to 2019, he averaged 30 homers and 99 RBIs, right? He's at 22 and 52 right now. So his resurgence has been pretty wild as well. He looks thinner. He looks more like aggressive in big spots. My dad loves watching him play, and so do I, because he's like, he wants to beat you with his brain more than his body. And I was talking to my dad. He was talking the difference between Donaldson and Rizzo. He's like, Donaldson just wants to mash you. And I was like, Donaldson wants to beat you with his mechanics.
Yes.
Like he's like I studied the tape. I built this swing. I know
Science.
what I'm doing. And Rizzo I don't think he doesn't care. He just wants to, whatever I need to do to get a hit, I'll just fucking do it. I'll put my elbow over the dish and then I'll just smack this fastball. I'll inch further. I'll inch back. Like he's just kind of going to beat you with instincts or his game, which is a really fun thing to watch. But Quags had all these notes for us, man. He had a 139 OPS plus for 6 seasons. Now he's on mark for 142. So 2020, 2021 Rizzo, people thought was going the other way, and he's like shooting right back up. It's wild.
It's pretty nuts. I mean, you never know. Again, Matt Carpenter, you mentioned him, whether it's retooling your swing or viewing the game differently, or, just the environment you're playing in. Like he feels rejuvenated by the Yankees. His final time on the Cubs, it was very much a different Cubs team. The sample we got of Rizzo felt weird. He got COVID. It looked like it drained him of his powers a little bit. And I think it's funny, if we went back and we listened to the PPP on Rizzo, I think we looked at some of the Yankee Stadium stuff and we were like, I think 30 could be in the realm. I mean, the guy's on pace for 40. He's on pace for 44. So pretty nuts. Have I told you I have a new Rizzo Judge theory? Rizzo loves Judge. They're always hanging out in the dugout. When Rizzo came to the office, I asked who are your dudes on the team? First name out of his mouth was Judge. I think Anthony Rizzo loves baseball. I don't think that's a hot take. I think Anthony Rizzo is the first teammate, or Aaron Judge is the first teammate Anthony Rizzo's ever had that Anthony Rizzo is like, you're a better baseball player than me.
Oh, wow.
Like he's played with great baseball players, Javi Baez, Chris Bryant, Wilson Contreras. But I think Rizzo at the end of the day was like all around baseball player. Like I'm better than these guys. I think he's seen like what Judge is doing. And he's like, you're better than me. And that's cool.
Well, and he's going hitting lessons with Judge's hitting coach and shit like that. I have this screenshot of Judge and Rizzo that I haven't found the right time to drop it yet. I need like a closer to come in and, Judge gets on, Rizzo hits a homer, they both get him. And then I can just say, that's who you sent out to face us. Cause they just look so like uninterested / intimidating / like, you thought you were going to win?
Like Judge is kind of giving him the, like, I will kill you. And Rizzo's like, yeah, he will kill you.
Yes. Like, why'd you guys fucking show up?
Yeah.
So I got to drop that at some point. It's
okay.
A good screenshot I got.
You half kind of did.
No, it didn't work.
Okay.
All right. You got an award?
Oh my God. I've got to go again. The most prestigious award of the show too. I had one lined up. Where am I going? What am I doing? Where was it? What's that guy's name?
Severino.
Is he still on the team?
Jordan
No,
Montgomery.
it's not.
Yo, the boys from
not.
Sumter, dude. The best 4th of July in Sumter history.
The boys from Sumter.
Yeah, Monty and Steers shared the mound today. Sumter boys.
Dude, I had an award. Where'd it go? Oh, I'm so mad. I'm mad.
The TBFS award.
Dude, there was I got so distracted by Rizzo. Now I'm back on LeMahieu.
Do you think maybe it was to Hicks? Because he's like fine lately. Made a good play in center. He has like the 27th highest on base percentage in baseball.
Who was I going to give it to? Oh,
Mike King.
Dude, I found it. I found it because I was excited. Jim, I'm going to go with the Home is Where the Hearth is award.
Paul O'Neill?
Close. Surprisingly close. It's going to the entire AL East. Jakey Stats got in the books today and tweeted it out. In the American League, there are 8 teams with a winning record at home. The Houston Astros, sure. The Guardians and the Twins, 2 teams in the Central. And then the entire American League East, including your Baltimore Orioles, have a winning record at home this year. And I want to tie it together because, Jim, we've talked so much about this magical Yankee season. How good are the Yankees? They're so good. Are they going to challenge the 2001 Mariners for the most wins? Jim, the year the Mariners in 2001 had all those wins, their division stunk. They had a 20-game lead out of June. The Yankees are playing in the best division in baseball and doing this. So a little shout out to the AL East for being so good. And it kind of needs to be noted now when we talk about how good the Yankees have been, that their division is insane. It's not just the Yankees. If you took the Yankees out, there's still an argument that they're one of the best divisions in baseball. Billy Crystal with those Storielli hands there.
Still fooling them. An investor in John Boy Media, Billy Crystal.
Sergio Romo.
I haven't read this book of his, but 700 Sundays by Billy Crystal is a great book if you're looking for a summer read and you like family and wholesomeness. 700.
Enjoy yours, everybody.
700
We'll see you
Sundays,
Tuesday.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see you Tuesday. Go Yanks. Enjoy your 4th. Tell him, Graham. Wrong show.
Let's go Yankees. Let's go Yankees.